this is Dr. Judson Brandeis. I'm a urologist and men's health expert out of Northern California. And David was kind enough to invite me to talk to you all about self-care, which is something that I really care about because, let me throw a couple statistics at you. 100 years ago, women lived 1 year longer than men. Now, 100 years later, women live 5 years longer than men. Second of all, the longevity of middle-aged men in the United States is actually declining, and it was declining even before COVID. And the reason it's declining, alcohol, opioids, and suicide, diseases of despair. And do we take care of ourselves? No. Men are 50% less likely than women to go to the doctor. So we're not taking care of ourselves. Now, if you ask me well, Dr. Brandeis, you're a smart guy. What should I be doing? I can give you the answer in about 15 seconds. There are 10 things that you can do to improve your health care. Don't drink. Don't smoke. Don't do drugs. Don't eat too much. Exercise every day. Stretch every day. Sleep 6 to 7 hours, 8 hours if possible, every night. Meditate every day. Try to have as much sex as you possibly can and be nice to other people. Now that sounds too easy and too good to be true, but if you follow that advice, you'll be healthier than about 95% of Americans. And as you know, we all live in the real world. You guys are part of the Special Fathers Network. You're a 21st century dad. You have children with special needs that take up an inordinate amount of time. You work, you probably have other children, you have spouses, you have parents, you have community responsibilities, work responsibilities. You guys are busy, busy guys. And so, doing those 10 things that I just kind of rattled off can be really, really difficult. And so, I understand that. But as a general guiding principle, first of all, most of those things are inexpensive. And second of all, many of them are enjoyable. But let me just go through a couple of them to highlight. So first of all, alcohol. Alcohol is really 4 things. One, it's incredibly ingrained in our society, right? So when you're younger, you're going to the ball game, you have some beers. When you're older and a little bit more sophisticated, you're drinking wine. When you're older and going out with the guys, you're drinking whiskey or bourbon or whatever, okay? So it's very much ingrained in society and ingrained in sort of how we live our lives. But first of all, alcohol is a depressant, okay? That's the class of drug that you're taking. So anytime you're drinking alcohol, you're making yourself more depressed. Second of all, alcohol disinhibits you, okay? So for most of us, most of the stupid things that we've done in life have been done under the influence of alcohol. And third of all, alcohol is empty calories, right? So a glass of wine is 125 calories per glass. So if you have a glass of wine every day for an entire year, you're going to put on about 13 pounds of fat above and beyond if you didn't drink that glass of wine. If you have 2 glasses of wine, 26 pounds of fat you're packing on each year based on taking in alcohol with no nutritional benefit. That's why it's called empty calories. So, remember the scene in Animal House where they're going in front of Dean Wormer and he says, drunk, fat, and stupid is no way to go through life, right? So if you're drinking too much alcohol, you're going to be fatter, you're going to be sadder, and you're going to be less inhibited or stupider. Okay. Now, let's talk about fat for a minute, because a lot of people are fat or overweight. It's estimated by the end of the decade, half of Americans will be fat or obese. Fat is really an important aspect of human physiology or animal physiology, right? So animals are eating a lot right now to pack on fat to get ready for the winter, right? Because in the winter, there's not that much food. And so you need the calories in order to stay alive, right? Animals can't whip out their cell phone and in 15 minutes order a burrito from Uber Eats. That doesn't work that way. So humans have pushed themselves outside of evolution, and we can crank up the calories that we eat And our body still is a body of an animal. And so it sees all those calories and says, wow, I don't know when my next meal's going to be. And so it takes all of those calories and turns it into fat. For example, if you've ever been to Alaska, you go up to Juneau and you watch the whales eat. It's really an amazing thing. You watch them bubble feed and create a bubble net and jump up the mid. It's just unbelievable. But these whales are eating for 23 hours a day for 5 months to put on blubber. And then the mama whales swim from Alaska to Hawaii, have a baby, feed the baby, and the mom and the baby swim back from Hawaii to Alaska. And for 7 months, they don't eat. That's entirely based on fat, on blubber, right? So that's the power of fat, but we don't have to swim to Hawaii and back to Alaska, right? We just have to hop in the car and go to McDonald's to the pickup line. So you got to understand why it's so hard to lose weight. Our body is desperately trying to hold on to those calories. So really, the understanding of the importance of fat is essential to understanding how to lose weight. Okay, the other really critical aspect of your health is exercise. Okay, exercise does so many things for us, and really, even if it's only 30 minutes, even if it's, getting a treadmill or getting a bike or doing push-ups or sit-ups, you got to get the heart pumping, you got to get the blood flowing. It serves so many purposes. It's a natural antidepressant. It takes down stress. It takes down anxiety and helps you sleep better. There really is no alternative to exercise. Now, as you get older, right, I'm 55, almost 56 years old, you have to be smarter about exercise, right? Doing the same thing every single day isn't going to serve you well. It's just going to get you hurt. Like all those folks that got Pelotons during COVID and was riding like heck every single day, they weren't building muscle. They were building some cardiovascular fitness, but you got to understand that muscle's built when you're sleeping. So if you're riding your bike like a madman every single day doing exactly the same exercise, you're not going to build muscle effectively. What I like to do is what's called the ABC exercise technique. A is ambulate, so walk, run, stairmaster, elliptical. B is bike. And I like to do some high intensity interval training, get my heart rate up to zone 5 during that high intensity interval training. And C is for circuit training. So abs, glutes, biceps, triceps, delts, lightweight, multiple reps, right? After the age of 40, the days of seeing how much you can possibly lift should be over. Lightweight, high reps, be consistent, and don't get hurt. Okay? So ABC, ambulate, bike, circuit training. Okay, sleeping. I just talked about sleeping for a second. Sleeping is essential. You got to get 6 to 8 hours of sleep. So many important things happen during sleep, but one of the most important things is erections. You should be getting 30 to 60 minutes of erections every night. So anytime you dip into REM sleep, which is dream sleep, you should be getting 5 to 10 minutes of erections each cycle. And that is what keeps your penis healthy. It stretches your penis out. It brings blood flow into your penis. If you're not getting erections at night anymore, that's a warning sign for onset of cardiovascular disease. From the onset of the loss of nighttime erections, you got about 10 years until you'll start to lose daytime erections. And from the onset of losing daytime erections, you got about another 10 years before you're going to develop cardiovascular disease, heart disease. Okay, so pay attention to the loss of nighttime erections because that's the first sign of erectile issues and the first sign of circulatory issues. Testosterone, right? Your testosterone peaks in the morning. You use it up during the day, and at night, you recharge. You regenerate your testosterone, right? So if you're cutting your sleep short, it's like when I charge my electric car, right? It takes 8 hours to charge my electric car. If I only charge my car for 4 hours, guess what? I only got enough juice in the car for 4 hours of driving, or however many hours that is, right? So if you're not getting a full night of sleep, you're not getting enough testosterone. You also process the psychological information, the feelings, the emotions of the day when you sleep. If you don't get those last 2, 3, 4 hours of sleep, you're not going to be as effective processing the psychological information of the day. And the other thing that's really important that you do during your sleep is you build muscle, right? So when you're at the gym, you're tearing muscle down. What happens when you sleep is you build muscle back up. Okay, that's where you get that muscular hypertrophy or growth. So if you're in the gym for an hour, but you're only sleeping for 2, 3 hours, guess what? You might as well not have gone to the gym because it's not going to build muscle for you. Okay, sex, right? Have as much sex as you can. So sex is, it's a great antidepressant. It's a great way to relax. It's a great way to connect. It's a great way to feel good about yourself. So, that's physical intimacy is really an important part of self-confidence, of health, of feeling good about yourself. And the final thing is be nice to other people, right? So there was a huge study called the Harvard Longevity Study where they followed men that went to Harvard and men that lived in the south side of Boston for about 75 years. It's really an amazing study. A lot of famous people were in it, including John F. Kennedy. And the number one conclusion from this study was that the strength of a man's relationships was the number one predictor of health and happiness. So it's really essential to have good relationships, friends, spouses, family, so be nice to them. So I'd like to close with a message that is really critically important to all you men out there, special fathers, 21st century dads, okay? Take care of yourself because no one else will, okay? Let me repeat that. Take care of yourself. Make time in your day. Schedule the time in your day to take care of yourself because there's no, tooth fairy coming around to take care of you. You're the only person that can take responsibility for taking care of yourself. Now, I want to plug my book, The 21st Century Man. This is a book. It's over 900 pages. It's 101 chapters. There are over 50 physicians and men's health experts that cover all aspects of men's health, whether it's physical health, relationship health, mental health, aesthetic health, addictions, lifestyle, you name it, and of course, sexual health and urologic health. You name it, it's in here. There are some amazing chapters in this book, including what men need to know about menopause. So if your wife is going through menopause and you don't know what's going on, you're in deep trouble. There are chapters on how to make love to a woman. There's a chapter on health insurance written by a friend of mine who's a health insurance executive, right? If you're navigating the health insurance world and you don't know what's going on, you're never going to be able to take care of your family. It's really a very, very difficult system to navigate. Anyway, there's incredible amount of information in this book. It's available at the21stcenturyman.com, all written out in letters, or you can pick it up on Amazon. It's an audiobook. It's an ebook, but really you need to learn from experts how to take care of yourself. Prevention is much more important than taking care of a problem once it exists. So anyway, thank you so much for your attention. I'm sorry I couldn't be there live, but I have to spend some time with my family. It's our birthday season. If you want to learn more about my medical practice, it's brandeismd.com, brandeismd.com. If you want to read about my book, it's the 21stcenturyman.com, all written out in letters. I have a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram. I'm all over the internet. It's not hard to find me. Anyway, I hope you all have a great conference, and I'm sorry that I missed you in person, but all the best.